Hello there, my friend. Welcome back. Glad you're here. It's good to be together once again. My name's Gavin. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel for those of you who come around often. And if you're new here, I'm glad you're here. We like to cut through fluff, sensationalism. We like to get into the nitty gritty of true crime. Usually that means documents. Sometimes that means videos or audio. But today it's document day. Before I get into it though, guys, hey, I have to say last night's video, so we did two videos yesterday. The first one was the hearing in the Stephan Stearns matter, right? It was that video that made me bite the bullet and go ahead and get YouTube Premium because I'm just so upset that we kept getting interrupted by ads on their end. So I went ahead and I'm making a lot of my living these days on YouTube. I should shell out for the premium subscription. So I did that. But yesterday's evening video, our regular time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on weekdays, that video, I really enjoyed because it was just a conversation. We had 3 hours of hearing, and we then just kind of got together to talk about what we saw. And I thought that was great. I can't believe we did an hour of that. Didn't even get into any documents or anything. But dang, it was really enjoyable. At the end of the day, I actually was a little more relaxed and was ready. It was easy to go to bed early, which is not like it. That's not normal for me. I'm a night owl. But anyway, thanks so much for yesterday's live stream. I'm glad that we were able to do that together. I don't know that we'll make it a habit, but we should do it a little more often. Tonight, we are continuing the coverage of the case of Madeline Soto. Need to bring this into arm's reach. Maddie, of course, is the 13-year-old little girl from Kissimmee, Florida, who went missing, air quotes. And later it was discovered that her mother's named Jennifer Soto, her mother's on-again, off-again boyfriend, a man named Stephan Stearns, was arrested, for her murder and also for 5 years of hell that he put her through. And he is on trial for those two things right now. And the trial hasn't started. It's headed toward trial. Let's say that. Okay. If he's convicted on the first trial, which has to do with his maltreatment, and I'm being careful here with my words, but his maltreatment and his lack of being a human being in regards to his relationship with Madeline. If he's found guilty on that one, that will be the aggravating factor for the murder trial, which would then mean that it is a capital trial. So, yeah, a lot going on in this case. I want to get his face off of here. We don't want to look at him all that much. I've got 3 documents to go over today. The first 2 are going to be really fast. The third one is really where the meat of things are. The title of this video today, I titled it, "I hope this lab report doesn't help Stephan Stearns." I don't want you guys to get the idea that I want Stephan Stearns to win in these latest motions. I definitely want the defense to lose. I just want them to lose on the law. And there are some people in the comments that are they just are incensed. They are offended that I would take that position, that I wouldn't just automatically be, no, throw the book at him and don't worry about the evidence or the legality of the evidence, right? So anyway, I don't want you guys to think that I'm on the defense's side. This guy, monster. This little girl, victim. And I'm on her side on this for sure. But we do have a lab report to get to. And I should say, I actually did not do a Freedom of Information Act request for this myself, which I typically do. I typically just call media liaison and I get the stuff that I need to get. This was actually given to me. It was dropped in my file drop by a viewer, I guess. It's an anonymous thing. And but I believe, because I watch true crime channels here on YouTube, I believe this was brought to light by Paula over at Plunder True Crime. So I want to give her credit if indeed it did come from her. I got it from a viewer. Okay. All right. So let's head over first to a couple of documents that came out early today. These are from the hearing yesterday. It's just very, very quick little ones in order. It's a confirmation of what we already know, that the next event will be a pretrial conference that will be on July 2nd in courtroom 4F, which is the courtroom that they're always, I'm not showing you the right one. It's the courtroom that they're always in, with Judge Karsten. And then on the 14th of July is now the schedule for the jury trial. Now I don't want you guys to get your hopes up. The likelihood that they're going to be done with all of the motions in this case by the pretrial conference is very low. Okay, very low. And so I find it unlikely that in July we would have a trial here. It could happen, but I think it's pretty unlikely. And then these are just the minutes of what happened in the hearing. We all watched it. So there it is. The second document is a list of exhibits that were given during the hearing. So an interview with Stephan Stearns by Osceola County Sheriff's Office. I think so. Osceola, probably. It could be Orange Sheriff's County Officer Hunt. I don't know. It could be Orange County. It could be Osceola County. And then a CD with Stephan Stearns ×2, and then the affidavit for the search warrant. Those were put in as state exhibits in the hearing yesterday. So those are public documents that are available. If you use the link that I always put in the description on this case, you can go over to the 9th Judicial Circuit Court and you can search for Mr. Stearns and you will find these documents. Okay, the third one. I love lab reports, guys. I just love lab reports. I don't know. I just really love lab reports. In the state of Florida, they have the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. And the FDLE has a series of labs that they use to do all sorts of forensic work. Okay, so that's what this is. This is a lab report from the FDLE. It is sent to the Kissimmee Police Department. Remember, there are 3 investigative agencies on this case, but the one in charge are the Kissimmee PD. And it was authored by Meredith McCaskill, Senior Crime Lab Analyst 1 in the Orlando Regional Operations Center Biology Section. So that gives us a hint. Okay, so this is going to be about biological matter, right? And this is into the death investigation and the SA of Madeline Soto, which occurred on February 25th, 2024, which we know is the last day she was seen alive. Okay, this report references evidence submitted to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement on April 24th, 2024. Remember that. So it took them a year to get this back. From the time the evidence was sent in to the time the report was made, I should say, is almost a year. This report contains conclusions, opinions, and or interpretations made by the author, again, Ms. McCaskill. The evidence they looked at was a white flat sheet from closet in bedroom number 4. Remember that in Jennifer Soto's townhouse, I sounded very Canadian there for a second, townhouse / condominium, she was renting rooms out. The rooms up on the second floor had numbers on them, 2, 3, and 4. Mr. Stearns was staying in room number 4 when he came. He had been gone for some time. He had been at his parents' house down in, I'm blanking, is St. Cloud? No. Where was it? Doesn't matter. He was at his parents' house. And so he was staying in room number 4, which was a room that he had been renting from her. Okay. So a white flat sheet from the closet in bedroom number 4, a white flat sheet from the bed in bedroom number 4, a white pillowcase from the bed in bedroom number 4, and a white fitted sheet from the bed in bedroom number 4. And you know what I didn't get ready for you guys? I should have. Give me a second. Let me just bring up a photo here. Let's see. Case file, images, apartment. Let me just run through these real quick. You guys screaming at your screens right now. Gavin, why didn't you have that ready already? I should have. But I just want to get to, let me make sure that I am. Okay, so let's open up this one first. We're going to open this one over in Firefox. So here is a scene, a picture of bedroom number 4. So when they say that it was a white flat sheet from bedroom 4, a pillowcase from bedroom 4 from the bed, and a fitted sheet from the bed in bedroom 4, I would say that it is this pillowcase right here, it is this flat sheet here, and this fitted sheet. Now, it also mentions that there is a fitted sheet from the closet. Let me see if I might be able to get a look-see on what that one might be. It's funny because there's nothing in the closet. But you know what there is? There's, let me open this one up. That to me looks like it might be a sheet that is just on that little nightstand. That's possible. Maybe that's a shirt. I don't know. But over in the closet, it's empty. So maybe it was from another closet. Maybe it was from like Jen's closet or something. Because if we look at his closet, slow down, Gavin. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. There we go. There's nothing there. So it may have come from a different closet, I guess. So maybe I don't know. Could be Madeline's, could be Jennifer's. I don't know. But at least we know what items 17, 18, and 19 are. Item 16 is a little bit more of a mystery to me. Maybe you guys have some insight on that. And then it says there were results on 17, 18, and 19. It says possible hairs were observed on items 17, 18, and 19, but were not removed or examined. What that would mean, guys, is the evidence would be in some sort of container. Usually it's a bag. They do want evidence to be able to stay dry. So, it may be a plastic bag, but it's more likely a paper bag or of some sort. That if they noticed that there were hairs on there, they would have been careful to keep them on there without examining them for this particular report. Doesn't mean that they're not examined for another report, just for this particular report. Okay, using a color change test, items 17, 18, and 19 failed to give chemical indications for the presence of semen. And then it continues to say that STR DNA analysis was not performed on 17, 18, or 19, and that is likely because they weren't able to find biological material using a color test. Typically, that color test is done with, actually, I'm not sure exactly with particular to semen, but there would be some kind of chemical test that would be used for a reaction, and then there would be, it's not just like an easy light to look at. They have these amazing, I wanted to buy one once just to have it. It was like $3,000, so I decided not to buy it. Anyway, so they probably didn't do the DNA analysis because they couldn't find any presence of semen on either the pillowcase from the bed or the fitted or flat sheet from the bed. Now, what does this mean? I've thought about this. Okay, let's bring up Maddie's face here. Let me go over to my notes real quick. Couple things. Okay. Where did I put that? Okay. The first thing that it could mean, and this is in no particular order, nor by me saying out loud does it mean that I believe it or that it is true. These are just possibilities that one would go through as they're going through the evidence, right? The most straightforward thought that I had is that there was no intercourse the night of February 25th, which was the last night of Madeline Soto's life. Seems like, that's maybe the easiest conclusion to come to. I think that it might help. Before I say this, remember, this is me just devil's advocate trying to understand both sides, okay? I think it might help bring reasonable doubt into a juror's mind if they're claiming all of this essay, and which I believe happened, but if the prosecution is claiming that this has all happened, they have the burden of proving that it happened. And if the defense has the ability to poke little holes in that to cause doubt, it might raise to the level of reasonable doubt. Personally, I think that there's plenty of other evidence that would keep reasonable doubt out of the heads of the jurors. It's also possible that he did not come to a conclusion, let's call it, of the activity that would need to have happened for there to have a chemical reaction that they're looking for. I guess that's a possibility. There's a possibility that he used a condom. And that, both of those things are ways that the prosecution would be like, no, what the defense is saying that no, there isn't. He could have done these things. Could have meant that the sheets were washed, though I really, really doubt that. When we're looking at pictures like this, right? No, I don't think those were washed. I think they picked them right off the bed. I think they had been used that night. That is actually kind of interesting, come to think of it, right? I am a person, I don't really like to make the bed, but I make an effort to make a bed. Stephan hadn't been here. He'd been gone, right? Hadn't he been gone since like December? So it looks like he had been using the bed, and that is a haunting thought to me that he was sleeping, as if he would be able to sleep. But anyway, that's one possibility. Maybe, another possibility is that not every event of the kind of this type of event that we're talking about here, trying to remain neutrally worded for YouTube, leaves biological material. Not every time does. I guess another way to think of it is maybe it occurred in a different place. Maybe it did not occur on the bed. Maybe it occurred somewhere else. So I guess my question is this just kind of noise, or is this something that maybe the defense could use to cast some reasonable doubt? And I would love your opinion on this, especially those of you who are lawyers, have experience in the criminal justice system. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But that's what came to my mind. I believe that if I were a defense attorney and I got this lab report, I would be doing cartwheels. I'd be like, yay, one less thing to worry about and one more thing that I can use to just plant the seed of doubt into the heads of my jurors. On the other hand, I don't think it proves anything at all. That's my thought. And again, special thanks, I believe, to Paula over at Plunder True Crime for unearthing this document, I believe. Okay, let's go over to your comments here. Ooh, man, that's like the first one that I saw isn't the first one that came in, but let me just, what a great comment. Ms. Courtney Reen's hearts. Okay, Ms. Courtney Reen, notice in that picture of the bed there's no lay marks except for one person. Okay, so on the photo of the bed, it appears that it does not appear to have been inhabited by more than one person. And I think that's pretty reasonable to say. I'm trying to think though. I mean, it's hard to say what this kind of stuff is. I mean, it does feel like there's something on that bed, right? But yeah, that does not look like two people have laid in that bed. That is true. Ms. Courtney Reen, what a great comment. Holy cow. Guys, I'm not just blowing smoke. You guys are brilliant about this sort of stuff, man. Really, really smart. Okay, I need to scroll up. Scroll up. One man's trash. Love YouTube Premium. Well, I've been enjoying it. It's been pretty awesome. Okay, I'm just going to scroll through all the hellos. Thank you, guys. Ohio Palm Mom. Yeah, I've never had a problem saying murder on YouTube and having it demonetized. It's always something else. I even put it in the title of my videos. But thanks for looking out for me anyway. I do need to add the educational purposes thing. I need time to do that though, Schmoopy. After last night's second live stream, I had a telephone call with a friend of mine who's a documentary filmmaker that he mostly, but me in small part, have been working on a documentary film on a crazy, weird, non-violent case out of the Sacramento County area in California. We've been working on it together, so we had a conference call after that, and then I woke up to my day job. So I think that is very, very good advice, and I will work my hardest to get a new intro made. And I am feeling better. Thank you, Michelle. Okay. Feeling much better. Dog Walker, you should do a collaboration with Grizzly and have a friendly debate. Gisela is somebody who I really love, and I have actually been a guest on her show in the Ellen Greenberg case. I would love to have her on. I would love to go on her show, and I would love to debate. I love talking with people that have different points of view. That would be great. Ellie and Griffin, we also want to make sure there's no room for appeals. We totally understand what you're saying. Yep. Good. You guys get it. Yep. I'm on the side of Maddie for sure. I don't think that we do ourselves any favor by being tunnel visioned about things, about anything. Kimberly and my wife and I were having this conversation about, and I stay apolitical on YouTube, but we were having a conversation about politics in America while we were eating a little bit earlier, and it's really, really good to open your mind to other people's points of view, even if you disagree with them, and see if you can understand why. Right. So, and I mean, that is true for politics. It's true for legal analysis. It's true for commentary. It's true for anything. In fact, like just recently, I was talking with Sandy Greenberg. This wasn't all that recent, but let's say like in the last year, Sandy Greenberg and I were talking on the phone. Sandy has become like a bonus mom to me. We talk all the time and I just love her to death. We were talking about art. She's very educated and experienced in the world of fine art. And she introduced me to what I guess I would call a modern artist, though. Yeah. I can't remember his first name right now, but anyways, Basquiat. Basquiat. Anyway, dude, I've been looking in for like the last several months. Like, this is amazing, and this is not the kind of stuff that I'd be into, other than Sandy Greenberg told me about it, and it's been a blast. So yeah, just try not to be tunnel visioned about things. I think it makes for a happier, more balanced life. Super charismatic. July seems so early for a trial anyway on this, but maybe COVID is messing up my idea of normal trials. No, I mean, she died in February of 2024, so July would be less than a year and a half. I think that would be maybe the minimum of when a trial would start. But I think there's so many motions. Like, we haven't seen very many motions on this. I see more on this. I see more motions in cases of like DV or like making terroristic threats. It's like the stuff, the lower misdemeanor level crimes that I cover on the daily basis. I will see way more motions in those cases than we have seen here so far. So I think that there's going to be, I don't think we're going to hit July. I could be wrong. I frequently am. Heck, Jess says I'm a nerd for reports, documents, and spreadsheets. Yeah. Jesse Roblin says Canadian here, and we definitely wouldn't pronounce it like that. Yeah, it'd be more like a house. My house. I'm not a very good imitator. I will. Let me tell you this little story though. My wife and I, many years ago, 2004, 2005, we bought her great-grandparents' home that they had built. This was in Northern California. We bought it with the intention on living in it. And we did for a short time. But the house was built by her great-grandfather, who came from a family of people in the lumber industry. He had come to Northern California from the Pacific Northwest. I don't need to tell this whole story, but anyway, lumber guy, right? And he built himself a modest home for him, his wife, and their daughters. And then when their daughter, who is my wife's grandmother, grew up and got married, her husband was shipped off to Korea for the Korean conflict. And so my wife's great-grandfather built her a smaller house on the same property adjacent to their house. And when her husband came back from war, they grew their family in that house. Then they bought their first house and stayed in it until both of them died. Anywho, the little house that was built for her was called the Weehoose. I don't know how you would spell that. It was called the Weehoose. The reason was her great-grandparents were of Scottish heritage. And that's how they said, there's the house, there's the Weehoose over there. So we all just knew it as the Weehoose. That was a long story about nothing to do with what we're talking about here. Let's bring Maddie back up. But yeah, I'm not good at imitations, Jesse Roblin. Please don't take offense. Was it Northport? That sounds correct. St. Cloud is the area that her body was found in. Okay. Jesse Roblin says, I took a data visualization for journalism course in university, and I feel like you would have totally loved the course content. Well, Jesse, as it turns out, for not just for fun, but for just for the opportunity to learn, because my background is in database administration. Part of my background is anyway. I was a DBA for years, worked as a DBA for Packard Bell and then NEC Computers. But I wanted to get into the analysis of data. I'd always fancied myself an amateur data analyst. So I took a course that was offered by Google. It took me about 6 months, and I became a data analyst. And part of that course was visualizations. In fact, my capstone was a visualization on some data that I had analyzed. Pretty fun. It's a great skill. It's amazing. I'm not very good at it, but I'm definitely junior at it. Oh my gosh, Gavin, constant disappointments that you aren't Superman every single day all day. That's funny. Constant disappointments. That's my middle name. Actually, Gavin's my middle name. It's my second middle name. John Gavin, constant disappointments fish. Figaro says, interesting, Gavin, no sign of Stephan Stern's bodily fluids on flat sheet, but hair found. Yeah, well, I don't think it was, I think they only checked for semen. I don't think they checked for bodily fluids such as sweat or urine, for example. Like, or blood. I think they just checked for semen. But it is interesting. It is. Irida Lily says, I believe it came from the linen closet on the second floor. Great. That's a great spot. So give me just a second. Because I think they went to the linen closet before they went into Stephan's room. There's like there's a laundry area. Let's see. Okay, they're going up the stairs. I know you guys can't see this, but let me just go through this real quick. There's the laundry area. There's like a refrigerator and microwave outside of the bathroom. Then they go into the bathroom. Then they go into Stephan's room. Then they go into room 3. Then room 2. Maybe it was on the first floor. But yeah, I think it was definitely from a different one. Angela says, Gavin, I wonder if they're going to test that brown stuff at the head of the bed in room number 4. Remember that? Oh, now I don't want to remember it. Let's look at it. Brown stuff at the head of the bed. I mean, I'm not seeing brown stuff at the head of the bed. But I am seeing what could be a shadow. I don't know what that is. Maybe there's stuff under. I hope. I don't know. I could not be a forensic scientist. I just couldn't do it. Isn't that funny how we all have our threshold and our categories of things that will gross us out? I'm perfectly fine looking at a body, perfectly fine looking at an autopsy, looking at parts, but stuff that the body generates, I have a little harder time with. Oh yeah, Teresa. They have video of him moving her body to the trunk, totally outside anything that was on the phone. Yeah, I think they have lots of evidence. I mean, I don't know that would have anything to do with the first court proceedings, but definitely the second, right? How much have you missed? You can always go back to the beginning and double time it or 1.5 speed. You'll catch up. Norma says the demon was doing laundry. Bibliographer, didn't Stephan do laundry the next day? He probably put fresh sheets on the bed when he was washing stuff the day Maddie disappeared. Yeah, great comments, guys. Yeah, because it wasn't until the early morning hours of the late hours of the 26th that they sealed off the house, right? So that was an entire day that things could happen. 100%. And that helps the prosecution, right? Yeah, you guys probably means they were washed. You guys are, you're spot on. Vesper Martin says not in bedroom number 4, but it could have happened somewhere else in the house too. Yeah, and I have heard, speaking of Gisela, I've heard her talk about how the other croc was in Jen Soto's room. And maybe it happened in that room, right? I mean, it could mean a lot of things, and I really don't think this is enough for the defense to be able to cast in the minds of jurors actual reasonable doubt. Remember, it's the reasonableness standard. Yes, they could have doubt, but would that doubt cause a reasonable person to change their behavior? And I don't think so. I think it's just fine. Heck Jess says, image 0175 sheet in the closet. Okay, let me look. 0175. That's the other set. That was 0075. That was not it. 175. Here we go. Possibly. Look what she caught. Up here. It looked in the other pictures like it was an empty closet, but heck, Jess, that looks like a white flat sheet right there, doesn't it? Awesome. All right. Let's good job. Crying out loud, you guys. I don't know why I'm always surprised, but you're amazing. Susan Lewis says, Gavin, it means that after Stephan Stearns harmed Maddie, he changed the sheets and then had all day to get rid of the sheets in which the harm occurred. We know Stephan Stearns was looking to destroy evidence. Yeah, I think that's and again, I think that the prosecution, if this ever comes up in court, there might be, think about it, guys. They just got this on the 24th. No, on the 14th. What was it? What date was this? Bring you back over here. On the 14th, they got it 10 days ago. They're still getting evidence. There are going to be motions. What if the prosecution has a motion to suppress this? Right? There's so much for them to argue over. And so, yeah, and if it's admitted, then I mean, I don't think that it raises to the level of reasonableness that this would cause some doubt in a juror's mind. I think they've got so much on that guy that as soon as jurors are shown, they'd have to be shown one picture and they would all just go, okay, guilty. I think that's what will happen. I think this, I think the human sensibility will cause them to cringe in terror at what had happened to this beautiful little girl, and they will come back with a verdict that is correct. Figaro saying washing sheets would not totally remove traces of bodily fluids. I believe those sheets probably did not belong to Stephan Stearns. Interesting. Okay. Heck Jest has a couple more images, but I'm gonna dude, we're already at almost 40 minutes. What date, asks Sweets, were the sheets taken, and could he have washed them or had time to buy new? Yeah, I think they were taken on the 27th or 28th. If I go over to the pictures, it was the 29th that they went into the house and collected evidence. So yeah, and it had been closed up basically since the late hours of the 26th of February or the early morning hours of the 27th. So yeah, he had a day. He definitely had a day. And oh yeah, Chrissy, one of the roommates said he was doing laundry and he never did laundry. Yeah. Oh, MM Clark says he had visited at least twice since December. Good call on that. Thank you. Jen O'Clock, I don't know the answer to your question. It's not a dumb question at all. Would a spermicide eliminate the DNA within the cells of the spermatozoa? I need to ask Matt. This is reminding me, we got to have Matt on again. Dr. Gruwell. Got to have him. Yep. Pointing out laundry. So getting back to that comment, that is not a dumb question. I think a spermicide would kill the cells, but would it destroy the DNA? I don't know. That's a good question. Kathleen, this is a good comment. Yeah, he did. Stephan Stern's DNA was on Maddie's breasts. Yeah, I agreed. Those are freshly laundered sheets. You guys are so on it, man. So good. Susan, again. Note only one pillow. What became of Maddie's bedding? Yeah. Bibliographer Gavin, 100% Stephan Stern's never made a bed in his life. Couldn't put sheets back on the right way. Yeah. I'm electing to bypass some comments here, guys, because we've got a lot here. Oh, yeah, the brown stuff was under Maddie's bed in the makeshift room. Okay, thank you. Didn't he say at some point he hadn't showered in a few days? Doesn't strike me as the cleanest person. Ugh. Yeah, you're not. He is a little cringy about that, a little gross, right? Gavin, that was Maddie's dress. Folded up on that cabinet by your door. Was it her birthday dress, the one that we're looking at right here? I think it might be. You can see more of a gingham in it. Oh, I think it might be. Guys, you have to forgive me and my colorblindness on this sort of stuff, but that looks like the same. I think you're right. Kind of see the belt line. Let's bring this. Which picture is a better one? Is it this one? Oh no, hold on. I can see it wasn't Maddie's dress because I can see a men's collar and a buttonhole right there. See buttonhole right there too. That's a men's dress shirt. Okay. Seemed like about the same color though. Yeah, that dress was in the hamper. Okay. Pleasant Dream says, Gavin, also Plunder posted a picture from evidence of inside of the laundry room, and you can see through the laundry machine door what was in the washing or drying machine. It looks like linens. I see. Okay. Yep. And Jesse can see that too. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a men's shirt. So guys, I mean, what have we come to here tonight? We have come to probably the whole idea is of, will this cause some type of reasonable doubt? Will this be able to be used by the defense to plant doubt into the minds of a juror that Stephan Stearns was not the monster that the police are alleging, that he was a caregiver and a father figure and somebody who took care of and watched out for Madeline Soto? No, I just don't think so. No. And I have to say that I remember when I went into the jury room, when I served, it was a double homicide. It was gang related. There was like a neighborhood beef between boys. These were boys. And so much information had been provided to us over the course of the trial. So much forensic evidence and so much witness testimony. When we went in there, we did have our notes. We did have the ability to ask for evidence to come in with us. But most of it was, I mean, we did get into the nitty gritty, but it was really more about, okay, how are you feeling on the whole here? On the whole, is there anything that causes any kind of doubt here? And for some people, there was. For me, there wasn't. So I guess, I think that's what will happen when the jury ultimately goes into the jury room, if this trial ever happens at all. So I don't think the defense is going to be able to use this. I don't think it's going to hurt the prosecution's case. I think it is going to be A-okay. And I think that I think there's just such a mountain of evidence against Mr. Stearns that she is going to get justice. It's too little too late. Remember, look at the pictures of her when she was a little tyke. This little girl had all of the potential in the world. And he came into her life, this monster, and he started like a potential succubus, just hoovered out all of the light. She still had light, though. You can see it in her eyes, but just, you guys know what I mean? He just took it from her. He just took everything from her. Ultimately took her life from her as well. Yeah. Let's see. There is a comment that just came in that I wanted to... Who said that? Lockdown with April? Where is that? Sometimes it shows up in different places. I'm going to miss it, but the comment is, I'm seeing it in two different places. I'm a scientist by nature. I think it's 50-50 whether spermicide can kill DNA. It's possible. Okay. Anyway, I think they're going to get this guy. I really do. And I'm going to be celebrating when it happens, but it is too little too late. This little girl lost her life. She lost it so much earlier than when her heart actually stopped beating. It was because of this Dilfolio here. Anyway, guys, we're going to be back tomorrow. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I hope you will join me. I am grateful once again to Paula at Plunder, who made this available. I have reached out to it was given to me. I will reach out and try to get all of the latest documents that are available through my media contact over there at the 9th Judicial Circuit, so that it's kind of on the up and up. But I wanted to thank Paula for making that available to my viewer who made it available to me. I appreciate that. All right. So 7:30 tomorrow night, please join me. Let's check in. Holy cow. We're almost at 116,700 fishies in our bowl. So cool. All right, guys. See you tomorrow at 7:30. Until then, I bid you adieu. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.